Hello everyone, here we are with the online class. This is class 8th chemistry, chapter number 7, hydrogen. Let us begin here. In this chapter, hydrogen, we are going to learn about this element which is actually the lightest element that is known on earth. That is due to what? It is due to its atomic number, that is 1. You have studied about atomic number in the previous chapters. So atomic number of hydrogen is 1. That is why it is known as the lightest element. This element hydrogen was prepared by Robert Boyle and it was also known as inflammable air. The reason being called as inflammable air is that this gas used to burn whenever it is kindled. So it is a supporter of combustion. So here we begin the first topic, that is occurrence of hydrogen. Naturally, hydrogen gas is found in the stars, including our sun, that all the stars are composed of hydrogen gas. Also, it is one of the most abundant element in the universe. So this this particular thing you have to note down as a question. It can be asked. The most abundant element in the universe is hydrogen. On the earth, when we talk about, then hydrogen is not found in large quantities. It is rarely found, and that also in small amounts in the pure or free state. It is found in large quantities in combination with other elements, but in the pure or the free state, it is found in extremely small amounts. Where it is present? That is, in the air around us, hydrogen is present. In the volcanic gases, whenever the volcanoes erupts, a huge number of gases are released into the atmosphere, hydrogen being one of them. Also, hydrogen in the free state is present in the Earth's crust. When we talk in the compound manner or in the combination, hydrogen makes a compound with other elements. How is it so? It can be found in the form of water. That is the most important source of hydrogen. In fact, we can say in water, every 9 parts by mass of water contains 1 part of hydrogen and the other 8 parts are of oxygen. Other than water, what are the other sources? So hydrogen can be combined with carbon. In combination with carbon, hydrogen is present. Where is it so? It is found in the natural gas and petroleum products. All the acids and alkalis around us, they also contain hydrogen as one of the constituent. Here we go with the next part, that is preparation of hydrogen. When we learn the preparation of hydrogen, it will be divided into subtopics. First will be the method called as displacement reaction. You have studied in the previous chapters about the types of reaction and displacement reaction being one of them. What happens in the displacement reaction is on the basis of an activity series, that is the order of arrangement in the decreasing manner, the elements are arranged, that is the most reactive comes at the top, potassium being there, followed by sodium, and so on. It goes downwards, and as we proceed downwards in this series, the reactivity or ability of an element to react with others decreases. So that is displacement reaction is based on this series. And hydrogen, because it is available in combined state, we can say yes, it can be obtained by displacement reactions. So we will understand this with the following topic. So from water, hydrogen can be prepared. How is it so? If we take any kind of the highly active metals like sodium, potassium, calcium, all these metals are highly reactive. So whenever these metals are put even in the cold water also, they will produce hydrogen gas. Let us have a look at these equations. So sodium will react with hydrogen. What happens in the case sodium? Na plus water. Whenever we put sodium metal in water, it will produce the metal oxide. The metal changes to metal hydroxide, not oxide. It changes to hydroxide, and followed by that, what is important here is the production of hydrogen gas. In the other reaction also you can see, this is the metal calcium, it produces calcium hydroxide, and hydrogen gas is also produced here as well. Lesser active metals, what we say now is magnesium next to calcium in the activity series. That one will react with water but not in the cold form, or we can say here we have to heat the water and produce steam. Magnesium reacts with the steam and it will produce magnesium oxide, and the main thing that we are doing here, the reaction for that is hydrogen gas is produced. If we further move forward and look over the less active metals, still which are less reactive than magnesium, so they also can do the reactions and produce the hydrogen gas. Here we have an equation. Please mark it in your book. Important for you to learn. You have to go through all the equations we have been discussing here. So they are important for your exam point of view. Learn them. They can be asked as a fill in the blanks, or they can be asked as balance the following equation. So both the ways you have to prepare these. Here in the present equation, iron metal, it reacts with the steam. So iron metal, we have to heat it. Iron metal will become red hot on heating. It is taken and steam is passed. So whenever steam is passed over red hot iron, what will happen? The metal will change into ferrosulfuric acid, that is Fe3O4, and hydrogen gas will evolve in the reaction. So all these reactions what we have seen here is showing us the preparation of hydrogen by what method? This method is displacement reaction. The concept is simple here. The active metal is removing hydrogen from water. Okay, so that is displacement. More active metal displaces the less active metal. That is displacement reaction, and that is why the reactions which you have seen here, each of them is producing hydrogen gas. The metals which are less reactive than hydrogen will not be able to produce the gas hydrogen in the reactions that we had seen earlier. Now coming to the secondary method here is from an acid. Now we will not use water. Now the same kind of the active metals will be used, and the reaction will be this time will take place with a particular acid. It can be HCl, it can be H2SO4, and so on. So here the equations you can see, the metals which are above hydrogen, that you have to note, the condition is the metal should be above hydrogen in the activity series, because the concept is same. The displacement reaction only is going on. Metal should be more reactive than hydrogen, otherwise the reaction cannot be proceeding in the forward manner. Okay, so here the metals you can notice here, sodium, magnesium, zinc, iron, all these are more reactive, and what is happening here is they are displacing hydrogen from their position, and as a result only you can see H2 gas is produced. The remaining thing now here, the sodium metal, it has combined with chlorine or chloride ion. Sodium is a positive ion, and HCl contains two ions, H plus and Cl minus. So sodium will combine with Cl minus by taking the position of H positive ion. As the result, only what we are getting is NaCl, and hydrogen gas is produced in the reaction. Okay, similarly all these reactions you can see, each of these, the concept is same. Metal takes the position of hydrogen, produces a compound, and hydrogen gas is produced. The reaction will be vigorous for the active metals and less vigorous, or what we can say is moderate, for the less reactive metals. Now the second method here after the displacement reactions is the electrolysis of water. The electrolysis of water, this topic also you have studied in chapter number 6 when we talked about the decomposition reactions. What was happening there is a single compound will break into two or more than two products, that is decomposition. So here also you can see the definition is given here. Please do read this and learn this. So what is electrolysis? The electrolysis is a kind of decomposition reaction. In this, what is happening? The substance which is present in the molten form or in the solution form will break down. The substance which is kept on electrolysis, this should be either it should be in molten form or it should be in solution form. These are the two conditions, otherwise electrolysis cannot take place. If the substance is in solid state, then electrolysis cannot take place. So substance should be either in molten state or in solution state. And when thus in the same substance which is in molten or solution state, when the electric current is applied or it is passed through it, the same substance decomposes. On decomposing, it will break down into multiple products. This is called as electrolysis. Whenever the electrolysis takes place, you have to remember certain terms there, then only we'll be able to understand. So whatever kind of the substance which we are using in the molten state, it is called as electrolyte. In the electrolysis process, we use two terminals which are called as the cathode and the anode. What are they? These both are referred as electrodes, and the electrodes can be made of metal. They can be metal rods or they can be graphite. Graphite is a form of carbon, which is a non-metal. So the electrodes, which are cathode and anode, are to be used, cathode being the negative pole, anode being the positive pole of the battery. They are connected to the battery, then the electric current is applied. The whole setup as a whole is called as electrolytic cell. So here you will see the diagram. I make in a rough manner. So we will take a container, in that two metal rods or two electrodes are used here. They are connected to a particular source of the battery. Okay, so this is how it is there. Electrolyte, that is the solution downwards in the container. Electrolyte solution is there, and in that same solution, two metal rods are dipped. They are connected to the battery source. Okay, so that is how it is done. So whenever the electric current will pass, it is applied to the molten or the solution form of the particular electrolyte, then what will happen? The electrolytes will break into two parts. So here presently what we are doing the electrolysis of water. So here what we will use, we will take pure water and put some acid in that, acidulated water. So acidulated water, whenever is taken for electrolysis and electric current is applied, the H2O molecule, the water molecule, breaks or splits into two parts, H positive and OH negative. Now here notice the charge here. So because the hydrogen ions, see here H positive ion, positive sign indicate the positive charge. So these ions are positively charged, and that is why, because of the positive charge, they will move towards where? They will move to the negative electrode, that is called as the cathode. On the cathode they will lose their charge, and what will happen? They will transform into H2, that is hydrogen gas will produce. On the other side, the OH negative ion, which are produced from the water only, on the splitting of the water molecule, these ions will move to the positive charge. Why they are moving to positive charge? Because OH is having negative charge. So negative ions move to the positive electrode, that is called as the anode. On the anode they will get discharged and produce oxygen there. So here finally what we have obtained here is hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, hydrogen collects at one electrode, oxygen collects at another. Hydrogen on cathode and oxygen collects on the anode, that is the positive terminal. So this is called as the electrolysis of water. Hydrogen gas is produced by the electrolysis of water. This is the second method of preparation of hydrogen gas. The third method here, that is the most important, that is called as the laboratory method. In the lab, in the chemistry lab, how you will be able to prepare this particular gas? So hydrogen can be prepared in the lab by the action of dilute acid. We can take either HCl, hydrochloric acid, or we can take sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. So whenever there is action of acid on granulated zinc, what will happen? It will produce hydrogen gas. The concept is of displacement only. This is a kind of displacement reaction. Nothing new here. Displacement only is going on. What is happening? The metal is taking the position of hydrogen. Notice here. See here, zinc metal is there and it is taking the position of hydrogen. And what is forming? This hydrogen will be removed from HCl. Same way in the downside equation also you can see zinc take the position of H2. H2 gas is produced and zinc will combine with SO4, ZnSO4. Zinc combine with sulfate ion. In the first equation, zinc combine with chloride ion and ZnCl2 zinc chloride is formed. So that is the concept here. That is displacement only. The gas that is produced, that is hydrogen gas, that is collected by the displacement of water only, because it is insoluble in water. Hydrogen gas does not dissolve in water. So it can easily be collected by displacement of water. How it is done? The displacement that we are going to look now. See, we will have the look at the diagram that is given here, and now we will understand the process here. So what we have taken? We have taken this conical flask. This is what? This is the conical flask. Okay, in this conical flask we have taken what? We have taken zinc and dilute acid. Dilute acid can be either HCl, dilute HCl, hydrochloric acid, or it can be dilute sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. Above this flask you can see we have fitted with the cork so that outside air does not come inside, and this dilute acid is not directly poured here. It is poured using, here some blur is there, you can refer to your textbook. This is a thistle funnel. Using a thistle funnel only the acid is introduced here. The end of the thistle funnel should be dipped in acid. So some acid we will take in the flask and remaining we are pouring in using the thistle funnel. In the thistle funnel, when we pour the acid using the thistle funnel, the acid will come down drop wise in a controlled manner, it will come downwards. Now the reaction will take place. The reaction, all things, that is zinc will react with the acid. Where it is happening? In the flask itself, in the conical flask. After the reaction, hydrogen gas will produce. This hydrogen gas will now move forward. Just notice the direction of arrow I am making. This hydrogen gas will move forward through this delivery tube, and where this delivery tube is entering into, it is entering into this trough. See here a trough is placed, that is a tray, and in this trough we have kept the cylinder that is kept here, that is filled with water. But when this hydrogen gas enters this particular cylinder filled with water, hydrogen gas will start collecting in this cylinder, and in return of this collection of hydrogen, what will happen? Water will start moving out, and as you can see in this diagram, water is all filled up, is now coming towards the tray. Initially the tray is empty, all the water is in the cylinder only, but when hydrogen gas collects in the cylinder, it pushes the water outside, and this is what is called as downward displacement. See, the direction of water is downward now. Water is moving down and going out of cylinder. So it is downward displacement of water. This method you have to remember. What is the method of collection of hydrogen gas in the laboratory preparation? It is called downward displacement of water. So hydrogen gas collects finally in this particular, it collects in this particular cylinder here. It is the method called as laboratory method. I hope all the things are clear. Here an important question is given, why only zinc? We have used zinc metal only in this reaction that we have noted, that we have just now seen in the laboratory preparation. So Zn plus HCl, why only zinc? We cannot use other metals. So answers we will see here. So sodium, calcium, magnesium, these are highly reactive metal. They will also produce hydrogen. If we take sodium and react it with HCl, it will produce hydrogen. No problem is there. But in the laboratory situation, if we do the such kind of the reactions, then the reactions will be too vigorous. They will be very difficult to control. Also, these metals are expensive. These metals are highly reactive, they can easily produce hydrogen, but we have to be very careful while doing this reaction. The reaction can be vigorous and even they can be explosive if we are not able to control that. So that is a risk we have to take. So better you avoid this, you should use a safer option, that is zinc here. Other than that, zinc already we are taking. Iron metal, why we are not using? There again problem is there. Iron, it will produce foul smelling poisonous gases are there, that can be silicon, sulfur, phosphorus, all these things can also be produced here. So that is why other metals, some problems and complications are there. That is why they are not used. Only zinc metal is preferred here. Okay, coming on to the last topic of this video, that is the large scale preparation. In the large scale, the Bosch method is used. The method that is used is called as the Bosch method. What is the Bosch method? So for the Bosch method, we have to take coke. What we have to take is called as coke, and it is heated. On heating coke, what will happen? It will convert into red hot. Okay, it will look like red hot. So this red hot coke we have to use for Bosch method, that is manufacturing on large scale. If we have to prepare hydrogen, Bosch method is done and red hot coke is used there. Over this red hot coke, what we have to do now? We have to pass steam. So steam is passed over the red hot coke. When steam will pass over the red hot coke, it will give us a mixture of two gases, that is carbon monoxide and hydrogen. This mixture of these gases, carbon monoxide and hydrogen, this is called as what? It is called as water gas. The second step, this is the first step of this process. The water gas is now mixed again. It will again be mixed. Again the same water gas itself is again mixed with the steam. So first steam is taken. over the red hot coke, water gas will produce. Second time again steam is taken, this time it is passed over the water gas. This time what will happen is the process will produce two different gases, carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Okay, this reaction, the second step here, it is having one catalyst also, that is Fe2O3, iron oxide. Okay, also some chromium third oxide is Cr2O3 is also there. So it is a mixture, the catalyst is a mixture here. Now the final step, the third step. Now CO2 and H2O have been produced. We have to separate these gases from each other. So easily we can separate here. See how they can be separated? Sorry, not H2O. CO2 and H2 we have to separate. So how we can separate these gases? The process is simple here. CO2 will easily dissolve in water. Hydrogen we already have studied just now that it is insoluble in water. So when we take the mixture of carbon dioxide and hydrogen and dissolve this mixture in water, what will happen? Carbon dioxide will dissolve in water, hydrogen gas which is insoluble in water is not able to dissolve there, and that is how we get pure hydrogen gas on a large scale. So in the industries, when hydrogen gas has to be prepared on a large scale for commercial purpose, then we will not use the normal laboratory method using zinc and acid. We will use this particular method called as the Bosch process. That is all for this video. In the upcoming video, we will see the properties, the physical and chemical properties of hydrogen, followed by the uses of hydrogen. That's all for the day. Thank you everyone.